Alrighty folks, in this video, we're gonna be talking about why I believe the era of the disingenuous fake influencer is over. All right, so we've seen this a lot, okay? We've seen this dating back to 2015. You always knew and you always kind of had this idea that things were not as they seem. Celebrities, very private with their lives, makes sense if you're an A-list celebrity, right? But even like influencers, back in 2015, it was all like Instagram travel pics. It was heavily edited, you know, I'm just gonna show, and it still is a lot this way, but it's changing, where you were just showing, here's everything that's the best about my life. Here's all the highlights. It's prim and proper, it's posed, it's edited. Right? There's no personality because there's no videos. Videos was not big on Instagram back then, if they even had that feature. It wasn't until later they added videos, and then even more recently they added Reels to compete with platforms like TikTok. Right? And then you have in 2020, and this isn't like going to be an exact timeline, by the way, like I'm just laying it out, but we had the TikTok boom, right? Where it was the super raw, user-generated, I'm just holding my iPhone in front of my face, or I'm making this whole like video with my phone, super authentic, raw, really what I think TikTok has done over the years, and it started back in 2020 with the boom, is it's turned the average person who's not a video person, who's not a camera person, into a content creator, which is pretty crazy. And it's all about authenticity, especially now, but we're gonna get into that. Somewhere along the way, podcasts blew up. And the big thing about podcasts, it's like completely separate from you think of Instagram, which is just photos, no personality. All you had was somebody's caption. Podcast is now like hours, potentially, you know, could be an hour, could be 3-4 hour long, of somebody's just exactly how they are, just raw, authentic, sitting there, diving into everything, right? And that, you know, it gave an insight to who some of these people were, people that had audiences, you know, influencers, politicians, authors, right? And then you have, more recently, people like Sam Sulek, which if you don't know, he's a huge bodybuilder guy who is literally known here on YouTube for kind of almost like breaking the algorithm, you could say, because I think at a world where YouTube was like peaking in, you have to have the best editing and the camera and the lighting and everything has to be good and the background music, like as that trend was like peaking out at the top, Sam Sulek came in and just put his camera right in front of his face while he's walking through the grocery store, posting like 30 to 50 minute long videos, and his thumbnails were just a screen grab from the video, like straight out of, you know, a 2006 type YouTuber, right? And then now what I'm seeing on YouTube is this resurgence of that super raw, authentic, low production video with no cut, like exactly what I'm doing here. I'm hopefully riding this trend, hopefully maybe even getting in front of this trend, because I'm seeing this as a trend. I'm seeing this as never before have I seen so many channels here on YouTube where it's somebody that doesn't do anything for their thumbnail. They just put a photo up, just a screen grab from the video, which is what I do. I've been editing mine a little bit just to like make sure the lighting pops a little bit. But other than that, it's like literally just a screen grab from the video itself. They have a title, obviously, that's like somewhat curiosity inspiring that makes you want to click. And then it's just a one take or just no editing, no lighting, like just super raw and authentic, right? And I think we're getting to this point where, you know, market shift, demand shift, content shift, platform shift, and there's just a hunger for authenticity. And I can feel it, right? Like I want to see people in their authentic self. I want to see who they really are. I don't want to see the, you know, this is super proper and edited and planned and scripted. It's like, no, just like, who are you really? Show me who you really are. Let me see. And I think there's a huge lack of that. There has been on social media from like the birth of social media all the way up to now. Maybe in the beginning it was a little bit less, but I digress. That middle pocket of social media is just like heavily edited, scripted, planned out. And then the other thing that's happening right now, which I believe also I'm trying to get in front of, and I'm seeing this as a wave, is live content. Like the live feature, going live on YouTube, specifically going live on Instagram, has been a feature for a long time, and I think it goes heavily underutilized. And then on TikTok now, especially with TikTok Shop, like it's becoming really, really big. You got marketing people like Gary Vee, like going crazy. Like back in 2019, 2020, when he was like TikTok, 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 now he's like live. Like it's gonna be all about like going live, connecting with your audience. Because if you think about the live format, it's like the most raw. Like if I didn't like this one take that I'm doing right now, I could just press the stop button and just rip it again, you know, if I didn't like it or something like that. But literally with lives, like you don't have that opportunity. Like it is just so live that, you know, obviously, right? These are obvious things. I'm just kind of giving the progression here. And I literally think like this is the death of the disingenuous influencer. Now it's going to be who can be the most authentic. And I've thought about this for years now. And I've thought about, man, I would love to just be that breath of fresh air that I could give people, that I could give my audience, where it's just like, man, this guy does not give a fuck. He is just being himself, completely unapologetically authentic. And it's just like, you either accept me as I am or you don't. Like there was always something, because I made content in the past that wasn't like authentic. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't real. Not only did it feel shitty, but it was also like, I don't want to post content and portray that I'm this type of person when my friends and my family and the people that really know me see a different side of me. Like, why would I do that? That basically just means that I'm not comfortable with people seeing who I really am, and that I don't think people will accept me. I'm not that fucking crazy. I don't do anything that I think is like that out there. I'm not doing anything that's like wildly illegal or unethical or whatever. Like, so why do I care? And why should you care? You know, like if your friends accept you, if your family accepts you, why wouldn't people that watch your content? Why wouldn't everybody out there who's sitting at home watching, right? The other thing is you got to think of like another thing that's been rising up over the last 5 to 10 years is cancel culture and calling people out. People make reaction videos. You have people whose their entire channel on YouTube is calling out people that are lying in the public eye, calling out course creators, calling out fake gurus, calling out whatever, and shining light on what's really going on, right? So because now we have people that like their full-time channel and job is calling people out and researching them and digging, it's like, how are you going to hide? There's more public cameras than there ever have been. There's more people filming things. There's more connectivity between people and friends and social networks and social media and all this. It's like, are you really gonna hide? No, you can't. So you're forced to not only be a good person and not fucking break the law and be a weirdo, but you're forced to just be authentic. Because then you risk your entire brand and your business and everything that you've built if you're being a fucking fraud and people call you out. Just look at Liver King. For those of you that don't know, guy that is absurdly jacked, talking about how he eats raw bull testicles and liver and all he eats is meat. And this dude is just jacked to the gills. Like very clearly abusing performance enhancing drugs to the T. And for a long time he said he wasn't on steroids. Like he would just lie to people's faces. He'd go on podcasts and he'd be like, never taken steroid, nothing, just completely lying. Got his ass called out and then he just became irrelevant. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude probably still prints and makes a fuck ton of money, but I'm sure his business is hurt, and I'm sure it hurt him mentally big time to go through that, being called out, being hated on by millions of people. And then you also look at like the influencers that will do these crypto coins. You know, they'll create a meme coin, or they'll create a whatever, or they'll create an NFT, right? And they'll like launch this project. And the whole idea is to just rug pull it. Basically to just like sell everything once it gets hyped up and people are pumping money into it, and you're like giving this whole allure that everyone's gonna make money and let's do this thing in crypto. And then meanwhile, they're just like, the whole thing was just to like pull the rug under everyone, take all the money and leave. And it's just like, you're just gonna get canceled. Like you're just gonna get called out. Everyone's gonna know, and then it's just going to fuck up your brand. How about instead, number one, be a fucking good person. Don't try to fuck everybody over. And then also just tell the truth. be authentic. At least that's my take very clearly. If you've seen any of my videos, if you watch any of the other ones on my channel, like that is what I'm about. That is what I think is going to rip. And I want to continue to be authentic and genuine. And sometimes it's being vulnerable and just sharing what I'm actually going through, what I'm doing. Now I could change, right? I don't want to be that guy that says, I know everything, like this is what it's going to be. It's like, no, people change. I've been wrong many times in the past. I've made a fuck ton of mistakes. I'll probably continue to do both of those things. So I will continue to iterate and grow and change. And I might come back and I might make a video and be like, honestly guys, I probably said too much. I probably gave out too much information about my personal life and I gotta reel it back in for safety reasons or whatever. That would be a good problem to have. That means I blew up enough or I got big enough to where safety was a concern. So anyways, I'm rambling now. Thanks for watching. Let me know, do you agree? Do you think that the disingenuous influencer is done? Do you think that's over? Do you think everybody is as hungry as I think they are for raw and authentic content? Let me know down below. Join the conversation. Thanks for watching. Cheers.